Boom! And welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Dirty Duck Coffee. If your coffee sucks, it's not the duck. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world-famous Andy Shaver.
Warm weather's coming. Got to get that cold brew from Dirty Duck Coffee. Good stuff. I was a little late on my intro.
Yeah, you need to work on that, son. After
no. Got a professional musician on the line with us today, so you could probably tell there, Shafer, that was off in the intro, fading out, and just wasn't very good on my end.
Well,
it's all good. It's all good.
We've only done 1,257 of these total, and we will be having a 1,000th episode giveaway of regular episodes. Well, sometime mid-June, early mid-July, sometime in there, where their 1,000th episode comes out.
Wow, that's awesome! Congrats.
Thank you very much.
With us today from Utah, a rapper. Yes. Our first rapper we've ever had on here. We've had some guys around here that thought they could rap, but they can't. Shafer. How are you, sir?
Good. Thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, we're excited to have you. How many streams are you at on Spotify now? Last that I've seen on your Instagram, it was over 1 million. Has it climbed even more than that?
Yeah. So I don't actually know the exact number. So the first song I did with Cam is at I think 1.1.
That's awesome, dude.
So. Yeah, but overall, as far as all my songs,
yeah. No, just the big one that's over 1 million. So how did all this come to be?
So yeah, it's kind of a long story, but I guess 2 years ago, I made a song with a couple rappers, a different song that was called The Tipping Point. Kind of about our country and stuff like that. And I did it with two rappers, one called Topher and one called the Marine Rapper. And during that time period, I was also getting ready. My wife had an elk tag in the Southwest Desert here in Utah. So I was listening to a lot of different books, and I was listening to a David Goggins book, Can't Hurt Me. Have you guys heard of that?
Yes, I've heard of it. Yep.
Yeah. So I was listening to that book on Audible, just like I like to, especially I live in northern Utah, so as we'd be driving down south to scout, I'd be listening to it. And the next book that it like recommended was actually Cam Haines' first book. And so as we were preparing for our elk hunt, I was listening to it, getting inspiration, and I actually made a video just like for fun, just like rapping as we were like practicing shooting at my dad's shop. And I was like rapping a verse and I shot an arrow and like, I was just doing it for fun, like we were just getting ready for her hunt, and,
right.
And he saw it and responded. So then when I was getting ready to put this song, The Tipping Point, out, I was wearing some Cam, like a Joe Rogan Cam hat or whatever. And he shared it. And that's kind of how we connected, honestly, through social media.
Isn't it crazy, the power of social media? Like you make one little post, you know what I mean? And it changes everything.
Yeah, 100%. It's wild, and I think just being creative and trying to share my message, which I don't know how much you guys have looked into my stuff, but my music, I just want to create messages that take my experiences and help people in some way,
right.
Whether it's like motivation, which a lot of people get that because my music's intense sometimes, or just like the feeling of being able to relate to somebody else going through the same thing. So yeah, so I made that song, put it out, and we kind of connected there. Then I'd worked on some other songs throughout the year and put them out, and every now and again he'd see them and like them. And in December, I was actually giving the books that I'd read throughout the year out to people for like Christmas, like my loved ones, my friends. And I had a stack of Can't Hurt Me, not Under his new book, Endure. And I just took a picture of it and posted it on Instagram. Again, like, just saying like some of the lessons that I'd learned from these books and what they meant to me. And he commented on it and like just saying, thanks, brother, or whatever. And I kind of expressed like, hey, dude, these really helped me out this year, helped me gain some perspective and make some changes in my life. And he was like, well, if you got any ideas, I have a podcast coming out next in January. And if you have any ideas, let me know. And I was like, I can make something for you. I can make something like an intro or whatever. And he's like, all right, let's do it. So I ended up, I knew it was like an opportunity for me, and I didn't want him to like forget about that,
Right.
So I actually took the next like 2 or 3 days off of work, and I couldn't sleep that night because I was like, how the hell am I going to make a song about somebody, you know what I mean? And make it cool and not corny, and make it like legit. So like, I was like, so I got up in the morning and I'm like, damn, I don't know what to do. Like maybe I promised too much, but I got up, was just like racking my brain, trying to come up with things, I'd read his book and I know about him. And it's funny because actually, like growing up, my dad, he owns a taxidermy shop in Salt Lake here, and I remember my brothers having his original book, the Backcountry Bow Hunter, and I didn't even put those together till later. But so I get up in the morning and I'm like racking my brain, and I start listening to instrumentals from different producers and that I've worked with in the past, and I'm listening, I'm not finding anything. And then the instrumental from Cam Hanes popped up. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, this is dope. This is dope. And I just started pounding monsters. I pounded like 3 monsters, and I went down in my studio, and I was just trying to create energy and express what I'd learned and what I felt. And so it was like this combination of energy being created. So I literally went down into my studio, turned on my microphone, and just started like vibing and making noise. I was like grunting, and I was like freaking banging on my chest, just trying to like create anything,
Yeah.
And then the first line of the song, I was like, the mountain embraced me, like, because I'm from the mountains, and then also like my father, like I look, he's been the foundation of teaching me how to be a man and be a good person. And like, I look at him as a mountain. So it was like the mountain embraced me. And like that, after that line, it was just like line for line. I literally, the first verse of Cam Hanes just was trying to create energy and express something. And line for line, that first verse came out all the way to the end of the bridge where I was like, feeling like Cam Hanes. And that was it. And I was like, this is dope, and this is really special. And so I think like I did that first verse and the chorus. I didn't have the chorus. I just had the first verse in that bridge, and had my audio engineer mix it, and then I sent it to Cam and was like, what do you think? He was like, I love this. This is sick. And then I was like, cool. He's like, all right, let's do it. So then I had to spend the next few days trying to come up with the chorus.
Right.
And yeah. And then the chorus itself was actually, part of it was written for another song that I was working on, and it just worked so well that I kind of took part of it and put it into that, and then then we put it out, and he dropped the Keep Hammering Collective, and it's gone from there. So
that is so crazy. So now like most of the music that you create, I mean, are you usually like listening to music to get your inspiration? Like your writing process for the Cam Hanes song, is it similar to your process whenever you're writing a regular song? If you hear a crop duster flying over, I'm sorry, they're
buzzing the piss
spraying
out of
a field by us, and I'm trying to kind of cut some of that out with my microphone. But anyway, is the writing process similar to what you did with the Cam Hanes song? Is what you would normally do, like listening to music to try to get your energy and inspiration?
I'd say typically probably not. Like I've had some that have been like that, but most of the time it's like a longer process of like me taking the instrumental, really trying to recognize the emotions that I'm feeling, from the instrumental. And usually it's like, aligned with where I'm at in my life at that time, and then I'll take that long period of time just trying to express it.
Yeah.
With Cam Hanes, I felt like I was on a timeline because I was like, I don't know, I don't want him to forget that I said I'd do this.
Yeah.
And I don't want him to like have somebody else do it, so I felt that urgency. Now, the last little bit of the music I've been writing, I've tried to implement that urgency, because I feel like sometimes if you don't put a timeline on things, it just gets extended forever and you never actually finish anything. So I originally didn't really write like that. Like I'd listen to instrumental, write it little by little. I might even like write some and then take a break. Recently, the music I've been making, I try to like, sometimes you're not inspired. Sometimes you don't feel like it, but you have to push through to create it, right? And that's an important part of the process too. But generally, not. I don't usually go down in the studio with nothing. Like I'm like kind of prepared.
Right. Yeah, that's got to be daunting, right? Because like here it is, this big opportunity, and it's like, hey, come up with something, and you're just like, there's a million fucking avenues that I can go down. Like, what do you just anything? What do you want?
Right.
Like, no guidance at all of what you're kind of looking for here.
Right. And like he actually didn't ask for a full song. He was just like, hey, I just need a little intro.
Yeah.
But like for me, I'm like, I need to be able to have something that I can showcase what I do.
Right.
So I was like, if I just give him a badass song that's like 3 minutes, hopefully something in there he likes, and he did. It's interesting because the part that he picked, when he picked it, I was like, really?
That's the part? That's the one you
that part? Yeah, because that part actually, those lines that he put in his podcast were probably the easiest part of the whole song. It wasn't like technical or anything, and I was like, okay. And I actually didn't really see it. I was like, I don't really see that, but now that it is what it is, I obviously am like, okay, that makes sense. But so yeah, it worked out.
How often do you perform? Are you touring? I mean, what's going on here on this end?
No, I'm not touring. I perform every now and again. In reality, I'd say probably the last 2 years, I've just been trying to create as much music as I can, to create more fans. But yeah, right now I work as a full-time firefighter here in Utah, and then my dad owns a shop that I work at part-time, because we're on 48 hours and then we're off 4. So I'm usually working for him those 4. Then I get up at like 4:45 in the morning to record, and then at night I'm taking care of house stuff. So
you do your recording in the morning. You get your Shafer time in the morning before everybody else wakes up, basically.
Yeah, and I kind of have to, because I'm married and have housework and all that stuff too. So usually if I don't get up, get a workout in, record, like it's just not going to happen. So I have to get up earlier. Yeah.
Is that something that you took from those books?
Yeah. I mean, and my dad was a huge inspiration. And I guess like taught me, if nobody's going to give you anything, you gotta work harder. Like I don't feel like I'm a more talented rapper than anybody. I don't feel like I'm the best. I just know that if I keep grinding at it, eventually someone's gonna see the work that I'm putting in, and I really attribute that to being the successes that I have had is just like realizing that nobody's gonna make this happen for me, so I have to get up earlier. I have to work harder than everyone else to make it happen.
Yeah. That's what I've learned is like fitness wise. If I don't get up and get it done, it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like I got 2 kids, quite a bit of responsibilities, and it's just like if it doesn't happen at 5:30 or 6, forget about it. And I tell myself like whenever I don't work out, like I'll get it in. I got plenty of time today. And then you look up and it's 2:30 and you're like, oh shit, I gotta get the kids in 45 minutes. They're that way.
Yeah.
Can't start now. I gotta stop in 45. So
right.
Right. We're gonna play a test here because I know nothing about rap music at all. I know who Eminem is and Snoop Dogg. That's about it.
Okay.
Tell me, who's your favorite artist, rap artist? Let's go all artists. Who's your favorite artist?
Probably. Man, that one's tough.
We're gonna see how many of these I know.
you just said artist.
I like a rapper. He's named Tech9. He was kind of like when I was growing up. He's like one of the faster rappers, fast rap, real technical. I'm kind of drawn to that technical rap. Obviously, like Eminem and everyone, because I'm white or the way I sound or whatever.
Yeah, you're
compare me to that.
I said you didn't look like a rapper. You don't have no face tattoos and you're a little pale skin. So yes.
Yeah. I'm white. I don't tan, brother. Like I get red and then I go back white.
Yeah.
But
freckle.
Yeah.
A freckle.
Yeah, maybe. Not even that. I don't even got freckles.
Yeah.
So yeah, Eminem. I do like. There's a rapper called NF. He's also white. I get compared to him and Eminem probably the most. Wu-Tang, Busta Rhymes.
Wu-Tang.
Busta Rhymes. I actually knew who that is.
Yeah,
and I know who Wu-Tang is too. So I know 2. Well, and Eminem's 3. What other music artists do you like?
I like some country. Obviously Jelly Roll, but he was a rapper once too. Let me think. I mean, I like some Morgan Wallen every now and again. I don't know. Honestly, like I feel like my dad listens to a lot of like older rock, like AC/DC, and I enjoy that. Sometimes we'll be playing that in our shop. Some George Strait.
So if you've got control of like the playlist, you're playing rap.
I'd say for the most part, yeah, probably rap.
Yeah, it's just I like a lot of balance. You know what I mean? Like because whenever I work out, it's a little different than when I'm driving, right? So
yeah,
I don't know if I just heard rap all the time.
Who was the rapper we talked about the other day?
That Mexican OT.
Yeah.
I like Mexican OT.
I thought that was a definition of someone. I did not realize that was his actual name.
He's good though. I like, and he's got a freestyle that he did on Shady Radio or with Sway. Have you heard that?
I might have. I'm not sure.
It's with
listened to a bit of his.
It's to the beat of "Wanna Be a Baller." It's really fucking good. Like I really like it.
God, I'm fucking old.
Huh?
I'm old. God, I realize how old I am sitting here listening to this shit.
Why?
I felt like I had to feel like my grandpa did if I'd have been telling him about Van Halen in 1986 because I have Shady, whatever, the baller.
Slay.
I didn't even know who that Mexican OT was until Payne told me about him the other day, and then Andy. Andy listens to him also. Or no, you said something about him, and then Payne listens.
I
to
listened
him.
to a couple of his songs.
Yeah.
I'm not inundated.
Well,
with
I'm not
that
saying
Mexican
you're going to
OT.
see him in concert or nothing, but I feel like an old person. So you're a fireman in Salt Lake City, is that right?
Yeah. So just a little north of Salt Lake.
Which town?
So Bountiful, Centerville.
Are you the only rapper on the fire department?
Yeah. Yeah. I think nobody's told me the rappers, but I think so.
You think so?
Yeah.
You work with a bunch of older white guys like me that have no clue what you're talking about, don't they?
We got a few. Our department's actually pretty young. So I've been there, and this is my 9th year. So.
Well, we appreciate your service.
Here's that Mexican OT. Let me see if I can get it to play. Hang on just one second. I might be. Do you hear that? Do you hear it?
Oh yeah.
Hit the highway, making money the highway. Yeah. Come on. I got a partner named Scales, but we call him Skeleton. Inside my body, they're Versace, but I got some Gucci skin. I'm from Texas, where we put some elbows on the electric bins. Fuck your lover, fuck your friends. I'm strictly about my dividends. My Texas tea is very bubbly, attitude ugly. Miss me with that friendly shit, little boy, I ain't your buddy. Grape jelly on the outside and this peanut butter gutty. Take a stroll through the hood, pop trunk got me looking lovely. Big pineapple with some walk hard. I'm from BK from Day House, Bay City All-Star. Matte black on my ARP, it look like it was Haitian. Killers in the system and they think they on vacation. Push them to my crib, my bitch think I'm inside a spaceship. Throw my Cadillac, Escalade keys on my PlayStation.
You're not vibing, Jeff.
He's good. I'll give him that. And actually, that's got a good beat to it.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a very popular song.
Well, and I could handle that. That's the Mexican OT. I could even have that on my playlist.
Had you heard that freestyle though?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh
now
my-
that you brought it up.
Oh
it's
my
sick.
goodness. That is I fucking love it when
So
an
he
artist,
made all that stuff up?
Yeah, I love it when an artist will like take something that's already out there and then like do something like that and make it their own. Like whenever we watch The Voice a lot in our house, my kids love it, and like hearing a classical song or hearing just like a classic, something that everybody knows, and then these artists go up and then when they make it their own, that's my jam. I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah.
So what's he talking about on this rap?
I have no idea, but
all I
love
got
it.
was a peanut butter and grape jelly sandwich. Is all I got out of it.
Yeah, I think the only way, like a lot of times when people redo songs, like if they don't have that uniqueness,
right?
Like Mexican OT is so unique, and like the way he rolls his R's, like nobody does that like that, and when they can add that uniqueness to it, it makes it almost original, right? And, but like if you're just like a normal like.
White people can't roll their R's because I got some Mexican ladies that work for us, and they roll their R's perfect.
He rolls all the consonants he's rolling. It's crazy. It's crazy.
So I will say, so the song that I just dropped with Cam.
Yeah.
So I actually had to redo that song, but in the original, I had this part where I rolled my R's and I loved it, but the song actually got completely ruined. So with the new one, I had my levels off, and I don't know if you guys have listened to it. It's pretty intense, but the whole song got ruined. So like that part, and I couldn't redo it. Like I couldn't do it like that again.
You couldn't do it again? It was a one and done type of deal?
It was one of those things. I just recorded it, and the way that I was bouncing with it.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that, but like I couldn't do it again. Like I tried for hours, but I couldn't do it again. So
what happened? It was like an engineering error. Something was messed up in the recording itself.
So it was actually my fault. So the first time I made Undeniable, it took me about 100 hours. So it wasn't like the first song. It's like, yeah, I spent probably 100 hours on it. And I had my setup at that time was the way I had my studio built was different, and I had my interface down low, so I couldn't see where I was peaking the levels. And I was recording over top of, like, I had some plugins on the mic, so like I couldn't tell that it was doing that. So when I sent it to him, my engineer, he tried, he like worked on it until finally he was like, honestly, bro, he's like, I don't want to put this out because it sounds so bad.
Oh God.
And it just like crushed me. And I was like pissed for like a day. And then I got mad and I went and spent literally that day on Undeniable. I went and spent like close to 7-8 grand on microphone, new interface, new everything, upgraded everything I ever wanted as far as my studio to sound better.
Right.
I did that for Undeniable. Then I spent another 100+ hours redoing the song completely. And it's crazy because this song had so much resistance, like the new one, because like I had that happen. And then when you've recorded a song in your mind, you hear it that way. And I'd listened to it so many times the other way, the way like the cadence of my voice, the way that I chop things, like I'm talking about with the way I rolled the R. So like in my mind, this is how it's supposed to sound.
Right.
And I had to just like work and work and work. And it actually, I think it made the song better because my enunciation and my like focus on it was so precise that like everything got elevated because of it. And then I came up with the new version. So
that's got to be such a kick in the balls.
Yeah, it was tough, but I'm grateful it happened because I mean I think it's better now. Last time I had it's a very high and then low, type of song, and it was a little out of control probably in the original,
right?
But I thought it felt like energy, whereas this one I had to keep the energy and keep the control, which I think gave it more of a epic dynamic.
Yeah, I would just be. I view music writing as like lightning in a bottle. You know what I mean? To get one hit or to get something that anybody likes, like to me, because I'm not a music writer, that just seems like you literally captured lightning in a bottle. So the fact that you've got to like just go back down to the studio and make magic happen again, I would be so defeated.
Yeah. And that was kind of like, because at that point, I'd already talked to Cam about making it. And it was like, I can't not do it.
Yeah.
I can't and I'd already spent so much money on the production and everything else. It was like, I have to do this. And I think it was a good lesson of what I was talking about. Like sometimes you don't want to do the work. Sometimes you don't feel like it. And it's like, you just gotta, it's just like working out, to be honest. Like
right.
I love writing the music. Like as far as like sitting down, writing a song, that's where I get like my peace. But recording is like working out to me. I hate recording because it's like I have to be high energy. I have to have the right, if I have a little at the end of my word, like so like recording for me, sometimes I just have to push through. It's almost like a hard workout or something.
What about I don't, like I said, I don't know much about rap music, but other artists there's just writers that write country, rock, everything. What about writing for another artist if you don't like doing the actual rapping? Have you ever thought about that? Or do you do that?
Do they even do that in the rap world?
That's what I don't know.
I think some do. I mean, I love rapping. I love performing and stuff, obviously. I just, and I could, like, I wrote a lot of the choruses and some of the music that I've collabed, like some of the people I've collabed with, I've wrote part of what they've done, or I've wrote what they say or do, but so like I can obviously do it. I think the thing for me is my music is so personal to like how I feel. I think it would drive me nuts having like someone else like talk about my experiences or talk like because I'm like, it's like a piece of me,
Yeah, it's like watching somebody else raise your kid.
How
you know what I mean?
How often do you perform?
Not super often, to be honest. I could. I've had I get a lot of opportunities. I just unless I see it like benefiting me at this point, I typically don't like or if I had like I knew, Shafer fans were gonna be out, but like I don't do it too often. The last one I did, I performed in New York I did a song called Who Am I, which is about suicide. It's about a firefighter and a 16-year-old girl committing suicide, and kind of we did a whole production of it. And so I performed there, and the one before that, I think, was in Phoenix for a bigger artist. But in reality, I'm not really seeking it a lot. I mean, if it was a good opportunity or way for me to connect, right now I'm more focused on like building fan base and building, trying to get listeners and people to, which that's obviously a way to do that. It's kind of a weird place where like social media and things like that, I can get a lot more people listening.
Right.
What's your goal? Do you want to be a full-time rapper or not be a fireman? I mean, what's the end game here?
Yeah, honestly, that's my goal. I'd like to be able to do this for a living. And yeah, I mean, we're getting there slowly but surely. Like I've done firefighting for 13 years now, 9 years full time, and there's a lot about firefighting that's amazing, and the brotherhood and everything it's afforded me to have the life that I have. But my goal is to make music.
Because back in the day, to be an artist, to get ahead, you had to go concerts. You had to be out in front of the public eye. With social media, I know that's changed, but it seemed like the more you go, if you do concerts more, you'll get more followers. And that's from the outside looking in. Like I said, I don't understand this game, but it seems to me that everybody else I know that's wanting to be a professional singer or artist, they're out doing concerts all the time. They're on the road constantly.
Yeah, I'm definitely not knocking it. Like it's important. I just think it's the right opportunity, right? Like if it was opening for people similar to me or even my own shows or something, but the concert scene can also be very different, where like maybe you're like opening up for people that don't have the same type of fan groups isn't really going to benefit me as much. And there's been a huge shift in the music industry now. I mean, like I've been on songs and worked with artists that are fully independent, and like they're like very, very, very successful. Back in the day, it was kind of like you had to get a record deal and all that, right?
Yeah.
Now being independent, you can be very, very successful just making music if you get enough listeners and you get people, But you also have to have a lot of value with, like, in order to get on a big car or a big show with similar fan, they have to see value that you're going to be selling tickets and stuff. And I don't know. I mean, I haven't really been afforded that or whatnot, so I haven't really seen if that would help or not. But I think eventually that's the goal. But
who would you want to open for? If you could open for anybody, who would it be for?
Probably NF. I mean, but he's massive, like arenas. So, but he's probably the person I get compared to the most. So
he's got some good stuff out.
Yeah.
So like, you had mentioned, sitting down and like writing it in full, but do you also like have like a notebook with like interesting lines and interesting hooks in it?
Yeah. I have notes and stuff that like just are full of different songs and things that I've written. And like I said, sometimes I'll hear something and I'll be able to apply it, like the campaign song. Mm-hmm. The hook was written for, so I have another song called Day One.
Yep.
And originally, the campaigns was Day One. I just implemented it.
So. Oh, I see. You just took from that and brought it over here, a little plug and play.
Yeah. Like if you listen to Day One, you can actually say the campaigns and you can see where it fits.
So. I'll have to go back and listen to that, because I listened to Day One also. So but I did not know that comparison was there. So I'll have to go back and listen for it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't typically, I mean, unless it's like a blank instrumental, I don't take like a full song and like apply it unless it's just like perfect. But I might take parts of it or be like, this is super cool and this applies here, and implement it. Sometimes I just have to, like Undeniable, I had to write from scratch and just have
Yeah. Lil Wayne says he does not write any of his music down.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does that. I don't know how he does that and then performs. Like I saw him, he was gonna do Saturday Night Live, and his team had to print off the lyrics to a song that he was gonna perform because he didn't remember it.
Yeah.
Do what? He don't remember his own music?
He doesn't write down any of his music. He goes in there, he says what he's got to say, they record it, and then he's done with it.
How does he do that in concert then?
What I'm saying, that's what I don't understand.
Yeah. I think some people are just like so creative like that. Like honestly, the rapper that I've worked with that I relate to like that the most is probably the Marine rapper. Like that dude, he would write, like he wrote a song like every day and recorded a song every day. And it's like, honestly, I think at that point, it's just like harnessing the skill set of rapping, like being able to put things together and feel the rhythm and all that.
Yeah.
Whereas like I learned early that like my strong suit was storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm never going to be, like I can spit fast and I can chop, and people enjoy that. But like, I knew it was actually when I dropped that Suicide song, the song called Who Am I was like, my strongest part of music is like being able to tell a story and get people to feel something. So like for me, I can't just go in there. I mean, very rarely, I mean, like I said, like Cam Haynes, do I just go in and just like, and I think even that I had to put myself in such a state of like, I'm thinking about all these things and I have so much energy and I'm creating it. And it was just like trial and error, but like, I can't, like, to put a good story together, I have to like take time.
So tell me about like making a music video, because I saw that you got a music video out. Like, what is that like? What do you do? Do you hear your music like off in the background? Because you know what I'm like. You're having to, obviously, you're having to like mouth the words. So is that all that it is, or like you actually like singing it to the music that's playing over like a loudspeaker, or what?
Yeah. So a little insight on that too. And not a lot of people. I haven't talked about it a lot on podcasts, but so all of it is just me and my wife. So my wife is a videographer. She's done that for years, an editor. She's a producer and stuff. So like the whole music video thing is just me and her putting things together. Like I build the sets, we come up with the concepts, and we hire actors. We hire this last one we didn't, but I had to build the set and create the storyline, and she films it. And then, I have a big speaker playing the song, and I actually perform it while I'm rapping out loud. I'm performing it just like a show or anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And then we put the story together and put the song over top of it and line up our, my vocals to like my rapping. And so it's quite a process.
Yeah, because I've always wondered that. Like, whenever you watch like a music video, like how are they doing it? Because like obviously that's not the recording going, and there's cuts and all that other stuff. So it's like you got to say this verse 10,000 times to get the one clip that's going to end up eventually going into the finished product.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing too, is if you mess up when you're rapping, you're a little behind or you're a little off, it's noticeable. So like you have to be on point. A lot of times if you do mess up, people like in music videos, they'll put like clips like for it might be like
with the actor or whoever you got hired, show a clip of them doing something.
Yeah. So when you see someone like rapping a long stretch and they're just like nailing it and it looks like the music, like, and that's actually pretty impressive, because it's like you gotta like you can't mess up at all. So yeah.
Do you get to the point when you're making these music videos where you're just like, all right, I can't hear my song anymore. I don't want to hear it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I've listened to Undeniable. I don't know.
Too many times.
Thousands. I don't even know. Like everyone, it's kind of funny because usually when the song comes out, I'm like so over it. Like,
right.
I'm just like, I don't even want to listen to that.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I bet it's the same with like people that do movies and stuff too. Because, you know, they filmed those out like a year ago, right? And then they've seen countless edits of it. And by the time it finally premieres, they got to be like, I don't give a shit. I'm on to my next. I'm 3 projects away from this right now, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, 100%. And for me, like I said, my process sometimes is, and it definitely probably doesn't help me with growth. But like, I'm pretty tedious with like how things sound and how I want them to go out. So it's like, I mean, Undeniable I made back in September. I wrote it. So, I mean, from September to now, like
a lot of stuff has happened. A lot of stuff's changed and you're just removed from it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have a song that I made that hasn't come out yet. Do you guys watch UFC at all?
Yeah.
So Michael Chandler, you know who that is?
I do.
So Michael Chandler is actually on one of my songs, and that was made even longer. So that's been like over a year, and I'm still trying to get it right, you know, before we put that out.
Yeah, I saw somebody walked out to one of your songs. Was it Undeniable that they walked out to?
No, so they actually walked out to the mountain.
The mountain.
Yeah, that was Austin Hubbard here in Salt Lake too. So it was cool. I got to be there for that.
Do you have any advance notice that they're going to do this, or you're just sitting there watching the fight and you're like, holy shit, he's walking out to my song?
So he actually told me, he sent me a message and was like, yo, because he walked out to I think in New York or Boston or somewhere. He walked out to Born Different. And I didn't know about that for like a year. Someone just sent me the video. Was like, did you know that, like, some fan or person that was listening sent me a video and was like, did you know he walked out to Born Different? And I was like, I had no idea. So then I commented on his page about it or something. And then when he was walking out here in Salt Lake, he's like, hey, I'm going to walk out to the mountain. I was like, I think he said the mountain or Cam Hanes, and I didn't know which one, but yeah, I went to that and saw it.
What a moment that's
cool.
got to be.
Man, it was cool. It was surreal. So, and Cam was actually there too. He was watching the fight.
Because I mean, these guys, they're going in there they're ready to die. You know what I mean? And that's the last thing that that is getting them hyped up to go in there and do the hardest thing on earth.
Yeah, I never thought about it like that, but that's.
I mean, really, like that's their fucking war song.
Yeah, it was amazing, man. Shout out Austin Hubbard.
So do you before all of this, would you like freestyle like in high school? Like how do you go from being the son of a guy that owns a taxidermist shop to getting the skills that you have now?
Yeah, so I actually hated rap when I was like in junior high.
Oh.
Yeah, I grew up trying to play the guitar. I always loved music. Like I loved performing, and like growing up I was like playing in little talent shows, playing the guitar, trying to sing, almost like, I don't know, I don't want to say like punk rock, but and what happened is me and my brother used to go tiger muskie fishing here in Utah at a lake called Pineview, and we'd be out there in our float tubes, and we'd have like we had like a little floating thing that we could have like a boom box playing music, right? And he was into underground hip hop, which is more technical, you know, not as mainstream, and he was always playing that where we were out there. And I think just being out there with my brothers doing something I loved, and it was like the music, I started to enjoy it, and then pretty soon I started rapping along with the rappers in the thing, right? And it was like, this is cool, you know? And then over time, I was like, man, I can do this, right? And I went to a high school where there was these little rap groups that would battle, and they'd be like, you know, we'd have like in between our class periods and after, they'd be like in these group of people battling, and I would sit there and watch them, and I'd be like, I can do this, you know, like I'm like, you know, white kid, and I'd go in there and I'd get murdered. Like it wasn't like 8 Mile, bro. Like
not like that.
No, I'd get destroyed, and but I'm pretty obsessive with things. Like when I set my sights on something, and over time I got obsessed with it. Like I was just all the time thinking about it, like rapping lyrics. I'd like see something and I'd try to figure out how to rap about that and connect things that would sound cool. And pretty soon I got to the point where I was getting in these battles and I was destroying people. And I remember doing a battle, and my brother was there and he was watching, and I just murdered these dudes. And I thought I was like pretty badass, you know, like after I'm like, yeah, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember him being like, I was like, kind of went up to him and I was like, hey, like, you know, and he was like, kind of not impressed, kind of like, that's not who you are type vibe is what I felt. And it actually made me kind of like ashamed that I was like doing something like that. Like, I'm tearing these people down. Right.
Yeah.
You know, because I started with him. Right.
Right.
So it was like, I kind of had a switch out of the battle rap, and I was like, I don't know if I really want to tear people down with my skill. So I started storytelling and started like writing music about things that mattered to me.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of spun into what I do now, is where it's like, I'm trying to build people up. I'm trying to storytell. I'm trying to like, and that was like when I was 15. I'll be 35 next week. So
that was when you made the shift. Well, I mean, do feelings get hurt? Do things get heated after some of these rap battles? Whenever you just said some of the most vile things about, you know, the person that you're tearing down, like, does anybody like hold a grudge and like, I'm gonna beat your ass whenever we're done here?
Yeah. So actually, it's funny you mentioned that. Like, there was, after I remember doing that one time, and I actually had, probably one of the more violent places here, and I actually had a dude that they were trying to jump me. Like, I'd be walking and they'd flash a gun at me.
Oh shit!
And like, so like it got to a point that it was like getting, you know, I remember where it would be like people following me and trying to like hurt me at that point, and I'm like, so it was starting to get serious like that anyway. So it's like
good time to leave.
Maybe it's time to do something else. Like, you know, yeah, people, because I mean, nobody wants to be, you know, publicly humiliated,
right? But like, that's what you're there for. That's what you signed up to do. Like, if the roles would have been reversed and he'd have just cut you right down at the knees, you know, that's why you rap. That's why you did the rap battle.
Yeah, maybe it's. I mean, I'm a white dude that doesn't look like he's supposed to rap.
Yeah,
right?
You're not supposed to be able to tear people down.
I can tell you right now, the life expectancy for rappers in the Dallas-Fort Worth area is pretty slim. They get killed.
I can imagine
about every month. One of them gets shot, murdered by. I mean, there's been like 3 in the last couple of months.
Imagine what Eminem had to go through in Detroit.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think these are all black guys that are killing each other. But
no, but I just like he was saying, like Eminem's this little white dude that goes into this sub pop world and just goes in and obliterates these guys. And I mean, I'm sure the walk home on 8 Mile wasn't the best for him.
No. Yeah. Shafer here, he's a blender though. He blends in, like, so. If once he leaves the place, he's pretty safe because he's gonna blend in like the rest of Utah.
Fair enough. I mean, and like I said, I don't really know. I know there is a rap battle scene here where they actually do competitions, and battles and stuff. So he used to be a radio DJ here. His name's Dre Rock. I know he's been a part of that. But yeah, I know they got that here. So maybe there's some of that going on. I'm kind of secluded doing
you're in Utah. You're white. Mm-hmm. Are you a Mormon?
Yeah.
Are you the only Mormon rapper there is, or there's other Mormon rappers?
Honestly, I mean, I think there is. I mean, for me, with my faith, like I wasn't super religious growing up, and I mean, I was and I wasn't. I was doing different things, and so I don't necessarily. I know there's rappers that there was one here that kind of used that as like a platform. For me, like I believe that your faith and your relationship with God is between you. Like for me, I found God in the mountains, right?
Right.
Like while I was hunting with my brothers and my dad, and that's where I felt like I built my relationship with Him. So I don't really attach myself to anything. Like I don't want to be the Mormon rapper. I don't want to be the firefighter rapper. I just want to be Shafer. And the music that I make and the stories that I tell, I want that to be, you know what I mean? But I know that there was rappers that tried to use that as
their platform. Well,
because go ahead.
Well, the reason I'd asked is that Mormons, I thought the Mormon population was higher. It's only 62% of the people in Utah are Mormons. I thought it was like 80% of the people there. So I figured it was a good chance you were probably a Mormon. And I just didn't know that Mormons, it's not like you're Amish where you don't listen to radios and stuff. So you.
No, and honestly, I mean, I think a lot of people like to disconnect that, where it's like Mormons aren't Christian. Like I believe in Christ, right? I believe in God, like, and they like to separate that and make us, I don't know. I feel like, and honestly, it's like, it seems like whenever some weirdo shit's happening with a Mormon, it like gets like titled that like that's the stuff that we're about. And I mean, they may be about that, but I'm not, you know, like
I don't know nothing negative about a Mormon. I just was curious if you were a Mormon and how that went on with the church, because Mormons are pretty strict on a lot of things. So I didn't know how that correlated into being a rapper.
I mean, yeah, I don't know, really.
Like, I guess it would depend on what you're rapping about too, though, right? I mean, if you're all about positivity and motivation and trying to lift people up and be an inspiration in their life, well, I mean, it's just.
What about planking?
It's no different. It's no different than, I mean, country music. It's just a faster pace and a harsher beat, right?
I think all music tells the same story, no matter what kind it is. You don't think so?
I think there's a lot of hard rock. I mean, there's just different rap. I mean,
but it's the same. It's a story, though. Everybody's telling a story.
They're telling music. A story, but that doesn't mean that it's positive or one that needs to be told.
Well, that's true. Rappers just have if you see the explicit whatever it's called on the packaging, there's a good chance it's a rap. Yeah, believe them is exactly. I mean, Two Live Crew. There's an old rap band that I knew about. I don't know if they're rappers, but you couldn't play their stuff at church.
Yeah, I guess I see what you're saying, and I think, I mean, in reality, I have that same thing kind of over top of me anyway, because I represent like the fire department. I represent, you know, so like, and in reality, like who I am, I'm probably not going to be promoting something that I feel like isn't going to help in some way or do some kind of good. Like that's just who I am as a person. So I don't want to promote, you know, killing.
You're going to the strip club and, you know, throwing money in the air.
You're a morally good person, and your lyrics dictate that. It just comes from a different avenue. But you're a good person. You're the kind of guy, if you came home to date someone's daughter, they're going to be, other than you being a rapper, they're going to be like, oh God, what's this guy going to come in sagging and stuff? And you walk in, they thought, there's no way that guy's a rapper. He don't have no face tattoos.
Yeah, I ain't got no face tattoos. I mean, growing up, I did sag my pants and you know, like, and I think maybe that's the thing though. Like when I was growing up, like I said, I wasn't overly religious. I was running around smoking weed, you know, living, rap battling and doing that stuff. But like where I'm at now, like I'm a husband, I'm a, you know, soon to be father. Like I'm just,
congratulations.
Thank you.
You're living a good life, and you're putting your message and your avenues different than some, but it's very good. And as a parent, if your kids listen to rap music, listen to your music as something that wouldn't bother me. And I'm not one to tell my kids what they could listen to anyways growing up, but I wouldn't have wanted my kid listening to Two Live Crew like I was.
Yeah, I mean, and I mean the music that I listen to, I mean, isn't always perfect, you know, like I listen to a lot of hardcore rap, but like that's also like I don't really judge good or bad, right? Like for example, like even take like I made a song about Goggins and Cam and all them. It's like David Goggins is pretty explicit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like there's good in everything, right? Like if you can see it, and I think that's the biggest problem with a lot of people is like they look at things and they're like put it in a box,
right?
Like this is too he said shit or damn or fuck, and like or and vice versa with like religious people. Oh, they're overly religious and they're restricted, and it's like, why can't we just take the things that we have in front of us, find the good, learn how to apply it to ourselves and become better people, and in turn give that away to the people around you, right? And that's what I want. Like I'm trying to take the good that makes me a better person, and once I learn it, apply it to my life, turn around and give it to people. And that's what I do with my music.
I can tell you one thing. I listened to some of your music, and it was good. And you didn't use the N-word one time.
Yeah.
That's hard to find in a rap song. That's hard to find in a rap song these days.
Be a little taboo if you did.
Yeah. Well, Eminem does, don't he?
No, Eminem.
Eminem never has used the N-word in one of his songs?
No.
That kind of surprises me. You sure about that?
Why? Why does that surprise you?
Because he grew up in that environment with black people.
Doesn't mean you can say it.
Well, no, I understand that. But if he said it in his rap song, it wouldn't be in a racist way, like he's wanting him to pick cotton or something. I mean, he was not that kind of person.
To my knowledge, you can correct me, Shafer, but I've never heard, and I've listened to a lot of Eminem. I have never heard him,
and he may not
say the N-word.
I don't know if it was real or not. I saw a reel that when he was starting, there was something he did. Like maybe it was even a rap battle where he dropped it, but it was like, I think it was a guy that he was battling, and he dropped it, but he did it in such a cool way that it was like, okay, but but I don't think that could happen now. I mean, there's some rappers like Adam Calhoun and some other rappers that I know have done it, and I don't know how it's received or whether they get canceled or whatnot. I mean,
hey,
I'm probably not going to be.
No, I would steer away from it if I were you. Just I don't I'm not your advisor or anything, but I would just stay away from it. Who was that Jewish guy that was doing a bunch of the freestyles a long time ago? I say a long time ago, 5-6 years ago. Damn it.
Lil Dicky?
Lil Dicky. Yeah. Lil Dicky. That guy, he's also good. But like I don't know that he ever produced any of his own music. I think it was just always going on and like spitting a bunch of verses, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. He was
hot for a while.
Yeah, I know he made the TV show, Dave, and I know after that kind of came out, that kind of it seemed like he switched over to more of that stuff. I don't know if he's even doing a lot of music now. I mean, that whole show was about him making music, but.
Do you think that Machine Gun Kelly quit rap because of the battle that he got into with Eminem?
I'll be real. I don't. Like, I feel like
he just switched naturally.
I feel like he was all like, because if you listen to his records, like, I think his record Bloom kind of was, I think that was before that. And it seemed like he was already kind of switching to that type of stuff. And he's always kind of been that, like, even when he was like his hardcore rap like phase, like when he was starting, he was always kind of that like punk rocker mixed. You know, it's kind of like where like I represent hunting and I represent like it was always kind of who he was. It just seemed like and I think people gravitate towards what they're good at. Like, I mean, you look at Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
Like Jelly Roll, he's super dope, but I didn't think he was like a crazy good rapper. Like he was on some cool stuff, like and I thought he had bars at times, but like I never was like he murdered that, but I always enjoyed his singing. So it's like when he started to kind of get more attention from that, it seems like you lean into what you're good at. Like You know what I mean? So I don't really think he switched because of that, honestly.
Right.
You
think he kind of always had that? He always had that in his arsenal, and then that's just kind of what he leaned into because that's what the public liked more.
Yeah, yeah, and I think when you like, you're very hesitant to lean into things that might like make you, especially when you're a rapper, like singing and that. Like, there's a few songs I've sang on, but like I don't feel super confident in my singing. Mm-hmm. But if I put out a song that was just strictly singing and everyone loved it, I would probably start singing more.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Now you said you tried to get Jelly Roll to collab with you a long time ago and didn't get it pulled off.
Yeah. So I actually so The Mountain, I wrote The Mountain for Jelly Roll, and I reached out. So what happened was on social media, I saw him post. This was before he blew up crazy. Mm-hmm. He's like, "Hey, I'm doing features. This will probably be the last time I do features, like get them or whatever." And he was still really big at this point. And he's like, reach out to this dude. I think it's like 508 Boss Man, he was like his security guy, or I don't know what he was at that point. And I reached out and was like, "Hey, I'd like to have him do this chorus for The Mountain." And he was like, "Cool." And I think he told me, what did he tell me? I think he told me like, yeah, it'll be $6,000.
Oh,
yeah. And at the time, like, I was newly married. Like, I was like, I don't. And my wife obviously is super supportive. We've put a lot into this, and I was just like, and I think she even told me to do it, mm-hmm. And I was like, man, I can't do $6,000. So I threw back like, I tried to negotiate. I was like, how about like $2?
Yeah.
He's like,
work with me here. I'm new.
Yeah. And so then I was like, I don't know if I can do that. And then it was like a month later, I reached back out, and I think Save Me came out in between that point or something. Mm. And I was like, all right, maybe I can do that. Like, I figured out a way that I could do that. And the dude was like, well, it's like 10 now.
Oh shit.
And I'm like, I couldn't do that at the time. Looking at it now, I'm like, I probably should have, but at the same time, like, there's a difference between having someone on your song and having like a main artist. Like, so when you have someone as a main artist on your song, it goes onto their platform as well. Mm-hmm. So I've done features with people that weren't main artists, like they were really big artists, and it didn't do a whole lot for like people seeing the song, and right. Like, and like, for example, that person that I did the song with, that's not a main artist, like my songs generally do better than that song is even done. Mm-hmm. And so, like, who knows what it would have been? It might have been like one of those things, which still would have been huge with Jelly Roll, especially at this point. Like,
right. Yeah, but you didn't know that then. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was Jelly, but he wasn't Save Me Jelly Roll at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he was big. Like, I liked I wanted him to sing on it more than rap. And that was the other thing, is like, I think he told me, he's like, well, his choruses are a lot more than his rapping. And I'm like, I didn't really want a verse, like a rap verse, mm-hmm. like it, because The Mountain, I already had my verses written. I had the chorus written. So I actually, after that, ended up doing like a TikTok challenge. Like, I just threw it out there. I was like, hey, I need a singer, and I'll put you on the song. And I did like a competition, and I think I had a couple hundred singers try to like get on it, and I ended up picking this girl named Ella Harpers, and yeah, so she was on it, and then it got played at UFC. So.
That's badass. So see there, it's getting played.
Yeah,
Jelly Roll, he's like down like 250 pounds or something like that, something crazy. I saw him just yesterday on a TikTok video.
Who was he with on stage? Is that the one you saw?
Bert Kreischer. They were doing like a beer holding challenge. Like, they had like a big schooner of beer, I don't think Jelly Roll was participating in that, but it was at that event.
He was. I saw him the other day on stage with a guy from shit. What's the group? What's that? Not Three Doors Down. Some song that had a big hit back in the mid '90s, and he come out and sang while Jelly Roll was on stage, and Jelly Roll looked like an NBA player. Really thin.
He got teamed up with that Gary Brecka guy that also helped Dana White turn his life around. And
I think he's got. Yeah, he eats
apparently
whatever. He eats a lot, but he eats only. I saw his cooked stuff. Yeah, I mean, like they don't even use flour. I mean, it's very, but it's stuff to eat. But it's things they mix up to make it taste like something you'd have before. Like the guy made him some cookies, but it was some kind of gluten free, but it tasted good.
Wow.
Because usually gluten free means no taste.
Right.
Right. Yeah, he's looking good, man. Like that's legit. Like 200 pounds.
Getting lean and mean. So how long? You said you've got 13 years on the fire department. When can you retire? Like, is that 20 or 25?
25. So I have 9 years full time. So
Okay.
I was working part time for actually multiple departments.
Those don't count?
No.
Oh,
no.
damn it.
Yeah, 25. So
What a good firefighting. It's a good schedule though, for especially if you're like a hunter. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's legit. We work 2 full days on, so 48, and then we have 4 off.
Yeah. So I mean, if you've got like a side gig like you do, firefighting's a pretty good profession to be in because you have enough time that you can pursue your passions.
Yeah. I mean, I think so. I mean, most people work a second job. I mean, yeah, it's definitely, that's probably why I got into it, is for the schedule.
Yeah, Jeff's dad was a firefighter.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Retired long.
He would if he wanted to take a long time off, he would pick up like an extra shift, right? He worked 4 days.
He would pick up. No, they were 1 on and 2 off. Now these guys work 48 and off 96, which I think is even better. But Dad would. I don't know if can y'all swap out shifts with other guys?
Yeah, you can trade. Like they can work yours and you can work one of theirs.
Yeah, that's what Dad would do. So Dad would pick up. Dad was great about picking up people that wanted stuff in the summer off. That way he could be off all during duck season.
Right.
So Dad wouldn't even go to fire station November, December, and January, but maybe once or twice. He'd be on 2 days and off 3 months. But but in the summertime, he would pick up half shifts. Like guys wanted to go watch your kid play baseball or something. As me and Tony got older, Dad would go in and work half a shift for them, and then trade back. But that was his deal.
Yeah, it makes it nice because I know like when I had an elk tag here, I did those trades early in the year, like the summer months that everybody wants off,
right.
And then I had my entire hunt. Like I could just go hunt, not worry about it.
How hard is it to get an elk tag in Utah? Do you get it every year?
Well, you can buy like over the counter stuff. I mean, I do archery, so it's a little easier. For like a limited unit, it's like, I don't know, 8 to, I don't know, maybe more depending on the unit. So,
and I mean, every year you pretty well bag your elk.
Yeah, I mean, you can hunt like spike elk or cows or like raghorns, and yeah, you can. We do pretty good.
So you probably got a freezer full of just meat that you can just go to at the drop of a hat.
Yeah. I mean, and I got 3 brothers and my dad too, so we're all hunting. Me and my wife. So yeah. So and we do a lot of waterfowl too. I shot my first goose in Texas.
Oh no shit! Where were you at?
By Cactus and Dumas.
Okay, yeah.
Who are you hunting with? Are you hunting with Cadillac Creek?
So it was just me, my dad, and my brothers. I was 8 years old. So
I got you.
Okay. I thought you meant just recent. That area used to hold a lot of birds up around Dalhart back in the day.
Yeah, we haven't been back for years. We go up to Canada every year, and then we hunt a lot here. So I actually probably do as much or more waterfowl as I do archery hunting.
Utah's a really good state for waterfowl hunting.
Yeah, up kind of the Bear River, Farmington area.
Yeah, so. And then you got the cinnamons on Salt Lake, right? Yeah.
I was in Farmington. I'm gonna look that up because I remember driving through that. I'm trying to think where it was at.
Canada might be tricky this year.
Yeah. I don't don't think we'll be doing that this year. But.
Yeah, it's not. Jeff talked to a guy on the East Coast, right?
Yeah, I think we're going to have him on the podcast next week or the week after. And no, he was in Alberta.
Oh, Alberta.
And said that the farmer told him that you're not.
He was snow goose. He was trying to get permission snow goose hunting.
No Americans. He said, I don't mind you coming to hunt as long as they're all Canadians. But he said, if you have an American, he goes, and he sent me the text. He goes, there's no Americans in our group. He said, that's all I ask.
And he said that carries over to the fall,
yep.
too.
He said, me and these other farmers around here, we don't want any Americans hunting on any of our stuff. So this is an outfitter, and it's going to be that way. And so I don't think that's going to be the bigger problem. I just think with the new liberal prime minister they elected, is that what they are, prime minister?
Yeah.
I just don't think they're going to make it easy for Americans to come across that border. I really don't. The do-it-yourselfers are especially going to have problems. Some of the outfitters, they're going to know people local. And,
yeah.
And I don't blame the Canadian government with outfitters, and I'm going to make some people mad, but most Americans that hunt up there, they exchange all their money in America. The Canadians aren't making a lot of money off of they don't pay taxes up there, a lot of them, and so I see where they're coming from on some of the things. It's a sad deal.
Other than the boom to the local economy, stimulating the local economy.
Oh, I feel sorry for them people.
Yeah,
I feel sorry for the outfitters. I feel sorry for everyone involved. I just said I understand where the Canadian government, if they're looking at it from a dollar standpoint, they're like, we're not making much money off this,
right? Because I'm sure, Shafer, whenever you go up to Canada, you stay somewhere, you eat somewhere, you buy groceries. It's all going into the local economy.
Yeah. Yeah. It was since they changed a lot the last few years too, as far as like the hunting regulations and pass shooting and stuff like that. So yeah, because we've gone up there for years, and this last year we went, it was a lot more challenging, but I mean, we still had fun, but yeah.
This year is going to be a lot of guys you're going to get turned down on places to hunt, I'm afraid. Like I would really do my homework before I hauled a trailer up there and all my stuff. I'd go up there probably in August and drive around and ask people if you're going to be able to get in with somebody to make sure, because I have a feeling you're not going to be able to. I don't even know if you're going to be able to cross the border all the time. And right now it's not a big deal, but who knows what's going to happen? Jeez.
Yeah. Well, honestly, that's kind of what we found last year is we've never really had a challenge like getting permission or things like that. And it was just like people were not having it. And it was like you'd find a field that birds were in and yeah, it was tough. It was probably one of the tougher years we've had up there. And my dad's been going up there the last 20 years. We've been going up there as a family. So it was definitely the toughest year we've had.
What are y'all primarily going after, ducks or geese?
Snow geese.
Geese up there?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I think there's still snow goose hunting up there, probably for the rest of May.
Yeah, I saw some. That's the video this guy sent. That was just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
They were still hunting. They just finished up. He told me the other day they just got done.
That's a long time.
Oh, it would drive me nuts.
Yeah. You guys are a guide service, right? In Texas?
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. That's awesome.
We go mainly after we get a lot of speckle bellies in our neck of the woods, so that's primarily what we go after. We get some Canadas, the lesser Canadas.
Cool.
Little mix of snows certain times of year, and then on a wet year we'll have pretty good duck hunting. But we hadn't had a wet year in a couple years, so ducks have been scarce.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I think it's that way everywhere. Well, listen, Shafer, we really appreciate you coming on here, dude. I love your music. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to those songs and hear the correlation to everything. But yeah, man, just keep hammering them out, and you're on the right track here, and we wish you nothing but the best. So keep doing what you're doing, dude. You're an inspiration.
Hey, I really appreciate that, and I appreciate you guys having me on. I was actually telling my dad yesterday, I'm like, hey, I'm going on the Big Honker podcast. I haven't listened to your podcast like a ton, and he was like, hey, I listen to them all the time. And I was like,
that's bad.
So yeah,
that's bad.
So shout out my dad.
We got dad's approval, so that's a good deal. Yeah, man. Listen, be safe out there. Keep pumping out music, and if you ever find yourself in Texas again wanting to shoot a specklebelly, give us a holler, and we can do it.
All right. Hey, I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Hey, thank you so much. God bless you, and have a great day.
All right, fellas. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Interesting life. Now, if he walked in a room and someone said,
pick out the rapper,
he would not be the guy who would pick out.
10 people walk into a room, pick out the rapper.
Not even close.
I'd have spotted him out.
Well, you're better than I am. Anyway.
I'd have got him. Been like, that guy.
Anyways, we appreciate y'all listening to us. We've got a little bit of room left on the Boss Goose Hunt, on the Boss Steel Reserve Goose Hunt. Reach out to me if you're interested in that. I've got singles, doubles, triples I can do. We've got some weekdays, and I got a couple weekends still left in November. December's getting close to being full. In January, I got some days left. So anyways, holler at me. I've got a couple of deer spots left too. I've got 2 deer hunts left. Anyways, holler at me, 940-658-3172. Have a great weekend, or a great week, I guess. God bless you. Peace out.
Books are open. Watch for deer. Check out all of our wonderful, wonderful sponsors. Go check out Mitch Hall Chevrolet. They got hell of a savings going on right now. Mallard Bay, Stanfield Outfitters, Mossberg, Lucky Duck, Looking Glass Podcast, Shin Gear, Dirty Duck Coffee. If your coffee sucks, it's not the duck. Get that cold brew. Ducks Unlimited. Figure out a way to get involved with them. Dive Bomb Industries, Pacific Calls. Use our promo code BHP25. And Boss Shot Shells.